What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to my Groove Lab episode 2, ACAI. In today's episode of my Groove Lab, I'm gonna share with you a little bit of my process behind the song ACAI, my second song of this year. And I'm super excited because this song was very special to me. It was a way to basically commemorate a little bit of my Brazilianness, if you will. I tried really hard to mix two different worlds in this track, Brazilian funk, which was something very close to me in some way, but at the same time, it wasn't my favorite style of music from Brazil. It's a very popular genre. There's a very popular style of music in Brazil these days. It really hit me in some point, and I just wanted to give it a try. It turned out pretty interesting. If you haven't heard the song yet, it's available in all platforms by now. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, anywhere where you listen to music. But let's cut the bullshit and let's just dive into the song. All right, let's go. All right, so to get started, I just want to basically play some of my favorite parts of the song. My main references in this track were Ultimatum from Disclosure. I love the way they mixed the house music universe with an African taste. I wanted to do the same, but with the Brazilian root there. Yeah, that's what it turned out to it. Alright, so I'm not gonna play the whole song. You can listen to the whole song anywhere, as I said, And this is the Groove Lab. I'm here to share with you my process, how I made the song. So let's go. I'm gonna start with the drums. I had like two different kicks in this track, mainly because I had two different styles that I needed to be bouncing back from it, right? So first kick, it was more housey, very like smooth and soft, very soft kick. I love how soft this is. By the way, this is the pre-mix and master version, so that's my final production version. And after this, I took it to Radium Media, to Brad, and he mixed and mastered fantastically this song. Brought all these elements to life because it's kind of dull. Some elements they're lacking brightness or punch. So yeah, there's the first kick, and then I had this kind of 808 to the funk part, which is way more accentuated, very like knocky, very digital too. To play with the 808 bass that I had here on the chorus, I needed to have something that would be able to cut that bass. So, you see, it's like, otherwise that soft kick would never cut it through. Oh yeah, something interesting I want to share as well is I had two different basses as well. One for the housey part and one for the funk part. For the Brazilian funk part, I had two 808s. Why did I have two 808s? Well, because I could have more control about the mids and the lows. Low end, it's always a problem in every track. If you don't know how to control your low end, you're probably gonna end up with a very muddy track. Mainly when you're working with 808s and shit, it's really hard to control your low end. So I always try to separate my low end, my very, very low end, like my mid lows, so it doesn't get muddy, and I treated them differently. So for example, my 808 mids, I cut it all the low end here from 200. I don't know what Brad did at the final mix, but my production was this. That's what I give to him, and I think he probably capped some stuff, but I bet he treated differently as well. And this is my low end, and I had some max bass here. Max bass is basically a low end exciter, brings all that frequencies that are not there, to just bring it to life a little bit. And then I had ozone on my 808 with some dynamic, with some compressor on the low end. Imager, what I'm doing in this imager, oh, Oh yeah, I'm centralizing my bass here. 808. and some limiter. So that's what's happening on the low end part of the track. I had some percussions as well, some loops, just to give that Brazilian funk vibe, which you can find. I try to record some stuff. I had my vocals in some parts, I think in the chorus here. Yeah, this is so weird. I'm like kind of... And I had some... Yeah, I did some vocal drumming as well. But it's really subtle. It's so low. You barely can hear when everything's playing together. So just to give some ear candies, you know, you feel that something is there, but it's not in your face. I think the main elements of the track is basically the vocals here, and of course the drums, right? So when you play back everything, you just basically hear the drums very in your face and the sample vocals, and of course the 808. Okay, cool. These vocals, they're very interesting. Actually, this is one of my friends, Leah. She recorded this a long time ago, and she's not a singer and anything. I just asked her to say some stuff on the mic for me. She just did it. It sounds really natural. And I think that's why it sounds like very organic, because as she's not a singer, it sounded pretty much like it's just a regular person saying something and he sampled. I wanted to give that sampled impression. Nothing better than give that natural vibe with real people. That's what she did. Let me see if I have like the original part here. This is very processed already. Yeah, so that's her voice, kind of not processed. By now, I think it's kind of processed already, but... Yeah, it's kind of processed. I think I had an actor there, like, doing a bunch of stuff. Yeah, so I had an actor doing like pitch correction, EQing, compressors, harmonies. On the first episode of my Groove Lab, I think I showed you my Nectar presets. I did like some harmony stuff, you know, like some octaves, and that's why I always do in vocals. Basically, this is my signature on vocals. I always try to do a super octave and a sub octave in almost every vocal, just to give like more body and more top. Yeah, I don't know, it just sounds interesting, sounds like my songs. I don't know, it's just something I like to do. So yeah, I just put her here on harmony and de-assing, of course, a lot. No reverb, dimension. Yeah, just a little bit of dimension. That's pretty much what happened here. So when that plays way fuller. And then of course the song signature is right here. So yeah, I just asked her like, hey, just sing some ha 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 ha. That's I think she just did that, and I sample and did a lot on this. It's three different things here. There's the separate, and the acai separate as well. Oh yeah, and then I recorded myself saying some dumb shit in Portuguese, like if I take all this out, it's just basically me. It sounds so weird. It's so funny. On my vocals here, it's nothing other than sound shift to give that childish vibe. And then I filtered. And I think I just compressed. Yeah, that's all I did. And it has some sense to some reverb and some delay. And that's all that's going on. On the Harmonies, what I had, it was just a pluck, my main pluck. This is a fairly simple track for me. You saw my last session. I think even on the feeling, it was pretty simple. It was pretty tight session. Usually my sessions go up to like 100 tracks, and this one was probably like not even 50. So it's pretty tight, you know. I think the older I get and the more experience as a producer, I start noticing things that I haven't noticed in the beginning of my career, which is sometimes you're overdoing. If you have too much stuff going on, people are not going to perceive that, you know. People are not going to be able to listen to everything. So you have to select some things to be on their face, some things to be in the back, and that's it. 90% of the people. If you're a producer, I'm not talking to you. You know, because I know how we producers, we perceive music. But other than that, you have to decide what people gonna listen first. I just start subtracting a lot of my elements. I start subtracting a lot of the bullshit and the noises that were there. And, you know, it's rare when a session that I have these days have more than 60 to 70 tracks. 70 tracks is like, oh my God, I'm overdoing it. But that's it, guys. I think, let me just play back these harmonies. Oh yeah, I forgot to play back the other bass. So the other bass that I have on the electronic part is this. I think it's just basically a sawtooth bass with an ARP, something like that. Some CLA going on, parallel compression and shit. Some sub bass and some more bass here. Oh yeah, this is my send, my saturation send. It's basically, I don't have this plugin on this computer. It's basically sending some saturation for the bass. I don't know if Brad kept that as well, but it sounded good. The final version sounded good, and that what matters to me the most. So I love the bass, the result of this bass. It's very like aggressive, but at the same time it's controlled. Like a gorilla. I don't know. I don't want to do any any comparisons with my bass and a gorilla. Never mind. When you bring the drums, everything makes sense. That's pretty much it, guys. Nothing crazy in this track. I think I could achieve what I wanted with this track. My intention with this track was basically mix two different universes that were part of my life, my Brazilian roots and my electronic roots. You know, I have 909s, I have 808s here. I also have Brazilian percussion. I have Brazilian people saying stuff here, Brazilian people talking in the song. The music video was all made by Brazilians with a Brazilian dancer. So, you know, produced here in LA. So, you know, I think I did a pretty okay job mixing those two universes. Now I just invite you to check it out, the song, if you haven't yet. And also leave a comment if you like it. Just let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions, if you have any questions. Also, what was your favorite part, your favorite element of the song? Do you like the bass? Now you can hear only the bass. Do you like the vocals? Tell me here in the comments. And I see you on episode 3 of my Groove Lab. Peace, guys.